talk about gear, because you know I don't settle for anything less than the best. Look, when I'm in the gym, I need clothes that are going to move with me, not against me. That is why I choose Barbell Apparel, and it doesn't matter if I'm throwing out weights or I'm headed out for the night. I look good, I feel good, and I perform even better. Now here's the scoop. Barbell Apparel's annual hoodie sale is on right now, and you don't want to miss this. If you spend over $99, they are going to give you a free Athletic Fit Performance hoodie. We're not talking about just any hoodie. There are 7 brand new designs engineered for athletes just like us. These are comfortable, they're stylish, and they're built to perform. But here's the catch. These hoodies sell out every single year. So if you want in on this action, you gotta move fast, stock up on your favorite barbell gear, snag that free hoodie, and don't look back. Remember, when they're gone, they are gone. So get after it. Go to barbellapparel.com today to upgrade your wardrobe and snag the best hoodie in the business. Or you want to make it real easy? Just click on the link. I put it below. Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic. So I was with someone meaningful, even though their name is slipping me. Right? It might have been Daniel. It might have been Dominic Cruz. Might have been Anik or Fitzgerald. But it's somebody that. And they made a comment about how clear it was, how obvious it was that Stipe versus Jon Jones is the biggest fight that heavyweight has right now. And might have even said that UFC has. Saying, hey, no wonder taking it to the Garden. They're waiting for that. No wonder, it's going to the top of the bill at the Story venue. I like the fight, but I didn't know that. And if I was challenged with that, Chael, then tell me a bigger fight at heavyweight. I don't know that I could. But I still thought you guys liked the Aspinall idea. I still thought there was something to Pereira moving up. And when I moved Pereira up, by the way, I didn't put him against Jones. I put Pereira against Aspinall since he's available. Either way, there was certain numbers and things you can check with some guys in TV. And I did go and ask that question. I said, hey, off of the metrics, it's Jones versus Stipe. And they laugh. They go, oh, yeah, 2-1. 2-1, this biggest fight. Really? So I'm sharing that with you. I just wonder what your pulse feels. Because as I'm watching the build and I'm watching, everything is consistent. Like, Jon is happy to do media, but is going to fumble it. That's not what he does. Stipe isn't going to do the media. Then you've got Dana, who's going to do his absolute best to tell the story. He'll bring in all the bells and whistles, but he's largely going to do that with B-roll, which means past footage, in an editing room and then put out a package. And you're going to have to do it that way. You're going to have to tell the story of the big power here and the great wrestling here and the world championship here and a world championship coming over here. You're going to have to do that because these guys aren't going to sit down and give it to you. And Dana has consistently, whether it is coincidence or intentional, found a way when discussing this fight to discuss a projected future possible way down the road of Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. Okay. So I don't know if that's a chess play and we just haven't quite seen what the master's doing yet, or if it's a coincidence, or if it's just a more comfortable and you feel like you have a little bit more to say, right? Everybody gets uncomfortable talking about Stipe because he's so revered, right? I mean, he's a first responder. He's rich and famous, could be out living the life. He's not. The life he wants to at home with his wife and being parent. And I'm just sharing for you. He's a little off limits. So when Jon started this, somebody else had said, we knew Stipe was going to retire, but then somebody else had said they both might retire. Like this got said by somebody. Might have been Dana. Somebody threw this out, guys. It was way back in March of last year. A year and 5 months ago. Nobody knows. Nobody knows how many months ago March of last year is from now, but it feels like a year and 5. All right. Jon went with it. I watched this happen. I watched right here from Bad Guy Studios when we threw it up on it, and I'm watching the reports on the Mania and the Elbow. I'm watching this, and I'm going, oh, Jon has grabbed on to that retirement idea. He did not mean it. It was completely insincere. It wasn't even his idea. Somebody else said it. He heard it, thought it might be good to go with. And a couple different reasons guys that are not going to retire say that they're going to retire. A couple. One could be, he heard somebody else say it, thought it might be good marketing. He never comes out and does anything to try for marketing, and he went for it. Another one is just the same reason you did things like that when you were a child, so that somebody else would tell, oh, no, hey, whoa, no, hey, we want you. Hey, you're great coming in. I mean, that's it, though. That's the psychology behind it. The problem with this one, when you're talking about the psychology, is Jon said it again. And he said it again. And again and again. And anything that you say and you have the ability to control, that you say over and over again, you can make those things become so. And I watched this happen. And I go, hey, guy, hit the brakes on that, Jon, because you never meant it anyway. It wasn't sincere. Like, don't create that. Let's not make that real. And there is something to this Aspinall idea. Okay, I'm tying these in for you because Jon resurfaced at Sphere, dressed like a cowboy to some regard. I have to admit, he looked pretty cool. He's in all black. He's got a cowboy hat on. It was pretty cool. And now he's over there doing pictures of this, like him and Pierre. And Pierre's also looking cool. He's in like a vest with no shirt on. It was like this Tarzan type thing. It made for good imagery. Now you got these two together. So what do you want to do with that? Are these two going to get along or are they not going to get along? And I don't have the answer, but it'd be very hard for them to get mad at each other considering Pereira doesn't speak English and you're not going to get very far beyond hello and some photos. That's not going to piss anybody off. So Jon does an interview. Somebody talks to him. And Jon says, this is going to be Jon says, this is going to be my last time. He's talking about his fight with Stipe. His fight in New York at Madison Square Garden. And again, he wants to market. Jon does look at other guys and their ability to bring in attention and market. He does want to do that. He is playful and he's handsome enough. He got a smile. He's charismatic. Like he wants to do it. But it just doesn't come out. So he doesn't stop there. He doesn't stop with this will most likely be. He doesn't stop with this will be my last time. He adds most likely. So, I mean, everything is gone, right? As soon as you say most likely, it's like including the word could. You have said nothing if you included the word could. We could wake up on Mars tomorrow. We're not going to wake up on Mars. Yeah, but could. We're not saying we're going to. I'm just sharing for you. When I watched Jon do this, it's like, yeah, there he is. Welcome back. Welcome back. Kind of missed him a little bit. It's going to be my last one, most likely. And I wish that there would be questions, okay? If I was to tie all of these thoughts together, which is Jon is putting this thing, what do you want to call it? You would call it the universe or something like this? Like, while the book The Secret is largely BS, the laws of attraction are real. Very real. And if Jon keeps talking about, I'm going to be retired, I'm not going to fight Aspinall, it's going to become more of a thing. Not only does he run the jeopardy of convincing himself, if he succeeds at convincing other people, Aspinall might just get on with it. As of right now, Aspinall's going to wait around for him. Going to sit and wait for an undisputed touchdown. But that will change, right? He got kids and a wife at home. It's one of these things. I'm sure lots of guys don't want to show up for work. It doesn't work that way. I'm just sharing for you, like, there are consequences to some of those words. And Tom is also, I'm going back to Tom Aspinall, but he's also told the media, I'm going to be ready in November. I will be ready. I will be on point. I'll have my licensing, my medicals, be ready to get on the scale and be ready to go 5 rounds with anybody in the world. He has said these things. And the last time that Jon and Stipe got booked at Madison Square Garden, the UFC, knowing what a monster fight that was, brought in contractually a backup fighter. His name was Sergey Pavlich. In fact, that backup fighter ended up backing him up and filling in that night for a title. So there would be no reason to not look at history as your best trajectory to the future. There would be no reason to not have a signed under contract backup in place for this fight. which, by the way, Tom Aspinall, clearly who that would be, who's already said he will be prepared, but not that he had been given the position. And you have Dana, who, when doing interviews, finds himself discussing a potential of Tom Aspinall. You're right down the road, but I'm just saying, it seems like everything works here, and I wish that when they were asking Jon these questions, and they get the comment from him, this is going to be my last one, most likely, they would have said, okay, Aspinall says he's going to be the backup fighter for this. A year ago, this exact same thing, you and Stipe both agreed, should something happen, the other would fight Sergey Pavlich. Could we do that exact same thing, but now make it Tom Aspinall? Now, I'm quite sure that Jon would say yes. I'm quite sure if we ever got to that spot, that's exactly how this is going to unfold. I'm just sharing from you from a marketing standpoint, from me, if you're trying to bring attention, which is all you're trying to do when you say, this is going to be my last one, right? You're just trying to exercise the laws of supply and demand. That is your one and only goal. And I think another great marketing angle would just simply be Tom. Will Tom fill in? One way or the other. Stipe has been guaranteed a title fight. Well, if Tom's the backup, Stipe's getting that title fight. Right? A year ago, Dana said it'd be disrespectful to offer it to him. Well, that was for a vacant belt. There's two different champions. As long as Stipe shows up and one of them shows up, he's fighting for a title. All of a sudden, it's not disrespectful. I just think it'd be an interesting question. I think it would be simple. I think marketing, it would make sense. It is plausible to happen. I think it's unlikely. I think Stipe and Jon are going to get in there. But I think once you accept that and you put that out there, all of a sudden the idea and the notion, which was never sincere in the first place, of walking away and not doing Tom, all of a sudden that's gone. You're doing media. You're now doing it for both of them. I have never agreed with the UFC on that aspect of marketing. That we keep the backup fighter quiet. We keep it out. We don't confuse the audience. We don't falsely promise something we can't deliver. I've never agreed with that. I've always thought it was a coveted position. I've always thought it was an interesting position. I've always thought, what if adds to the event, not takes away? My own thought. I want to know. I can't prove that because it hasn't been done. It would be an experiment. But those are my thoughts.